I can't see a damn thing. Good evening, guys, girls. Brian, Keith, Tim, and yours truly, Rob, here with you this evening. And we've got all the picks. Well, we got 4 college picks, as well as all the NFL picks of the week. Last week in college, Harris went 10-7. Let's see. So far, he's went. We just had 5 picks last week. Harris went 1-4. Keith went 3-2. Tim went 2-3. I went 3-2. Brian went 1-4, and our friend Mike went 4-1.
Mike always beats us.
He's never here. How about that? That's
he's taking all his calls right now before the show.
He's making a list and checking it twice, seeing who's naughty and nice. So we've got 4 college games this week. We'll start with Brian. We got number 20, Arizona. They're going to travel to Kansas State. Kansas State is a 7-point favorite, and the over-under 57.5. Take it away, Brian.
The interesting thing about this game, it's they're both in the Big 12, but this is technically not a Big 12 game. It was scheduled in 2016. And so neither team wants to take a loss in the league, so they both agreed that it would be a non-league game. So with that being said, Arizona, I watched the K-State game last week, and their secondary was just in mass confusion against Tulane in the first half. They made some adjustments in the second half and did better. K-State will have when they run the ball, they have a variety of gap schemes that's going to put a lot of pressure on Arizona's 2 linebackers. So that's what will work for K-State. The other hand, Arizona throws the ball really well. So we'll see how far along Kansas State's secondary will be. But I think I have Kansas State winning the game by 8. So I'm picking both of them to cover. And
all right, what kind of score you got? You want to give a score?
I think I'll go over the over. I think there'll be a lot of points. I didn't do the scores. I just have what I think how many points I'll win. But I do think it will go over. I think there'll be a lot of offense in this game.
Okay. Keith, Arizona, Kansas State.
Kansas State's usually pretty good. Arizona is a team, though, that I find myself rooting for based on the way they finished last year. I think Kansas State will probably sneak out a win, but I think Arizona covers the point. Kansas State was favored, weren't they?
By 7.
Yeah, I think Arizona covers that. And I think
so you go take Arizona
with the points, yeah.
Right. Okay. And you like over?
I think it goes over, yeah.
Tim.
Well, Arizona's not exactly been coming out like gangbusters, though, to start the year. I mean, they eked out a couple of wins, but then again, can't always go by what the previous week said. But having them be a 7.5 road dog, nah, it's going to be a little closer than that.
You like Arizona?
Actually, I like Arizona to win the game, too. But it's going to have to go under.
You're going to go under the total.
I'll say 30-23.
30-23, and you got Arizona winning that game. Man, I tell you what, I like it. I like Arizona. I like Arizona. They can throw the football as good as anybody way out west. They really can. I like them straight up. I think they're going to blow his team out. 44-31, over, easily over. I think they'll have 40 points scored by halftime. So.
After watching some of the Tulane Kansas State game, I mean, I could have easily went with Arizona this week.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that Kansas State they did come back and win that. I just have a feeling they'll.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about Kansas State and Kansas quarterback also, they need to learn to look the secondary off. They're looking at the receivers way too much.
Yeah,
so the secondary players are getting a head start on their defense, and they got to fix that.
I'll take Arizona 44-31. I like the upset, and I'm with Tim. I think they straight up win the game, and I'll go over. Let's go to Keith here. Number 4, Alabama. The Crimson Tide, a 16.5-point favorite, going to Wisconsin. 50.5 points. Who do you like?
Well, I haven't seen either team play it this year.
Okay, you haven't seen Alabama play?
No, but I mean they just always reload so well. Is Van Dyke the quarterback at Wisconsin?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And
Came from
what little I saw of him play last year, one game being the game against Carolina, there were some things about his game that just kind of looked good to me.
Mhm.
So being in Wisconsin, I could see them having a chance to cover that, but being Alabama, even though they've got the coach from Washington there now, it's just hard to go against Alabama.
So you'll give up the points and take Bama?
Yes.
And 50.5.
I'm going to go under that just because I don't know that Wisconsin will score a lot of points.
Okay. Tim.
Oh, I think Wisconsin has not looked very good their first couple games, so I'm going to take Alabama to win 42-21.
So just going over.
No, that's way over.
Couple points.
Well, over under is 50.5.
Was it 50?
Yeah, 50.5. That's 63. 40-21. That's 63.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you said the over under was 61 or 62, 61 and a half.
50,
Oh, okay.
50.
I'll go over that then because I was thinking
Yeah,
of the
low.
number low 60s. So
Yeah.
I'll change that to
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it'll be
so-
kind of like a 40-17 game.
Hey, I just think Wisconsin's going to run the ball better than you guys thinking. I really do. I think they're going to be able to run the ball on this Bama team, and if they can't, they got a guy who can stand back in the pocket and throw the football if he's got a little bit of time. They're not going to win this game. They're in Wisconsin. I think they're going to show a little bit of pride. 41-27. Bama wins the game. It's going to go over. Wisconsin covers the spread though. 41-27 Bama.
Wisconsin's got a second-year coach that was highly thought of going in there. Who was that, Brian?
Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think they.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Wisconsin's coach. He's new.
Who is it they got?
Was it the guy the guy from Cincinnati? Where did he go?
Oh, Luke Fickell.
Luke Fickell.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's an Ohio State grad.
He's a
Yeah.
good coach.
Well, he was at Cincinnati before he went to
Right.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
I'll take Wisconsin to cover 16.5. I think it's too many points.
Okay.
Brian.
Rob, I'm actually with you as well. Alabama, not off to a great start, really. Their pass blocking by PFF is ranked 150th in the 105th in the country. So they've not been protecting Milroe very well. And they're going to be on the road, a lot of noise. So it's going to be a challenge for Alabama to function. I have them winning the game, but not covering. I have Alabama winning I have them winning by 6. That doesn't cover. So Wisconsin covering.
All right. And you going to have an over or under?
I'm leaning
50.
under on this. Under.
50.5.
Yeah, I'm leaning under.
Under. Okay. We're going to go to Tim. Oregon.
Milroe, is that their quarterback still at Alabama?
Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
Keith, I forgot to get your pick down. What was your pick?
Over with Alabama covering.
Okay.
Number 7 out Oregon, the Ducks, traveling to Oregon State to play the Beavers. Early season right here. 16.5 is this one as well. Also 50.5 points. Tim, can Oregon State
I'm
cover
waiting
this?
for Oregon to kick into gear, but I don't think it's going to be this game against the rival. I think Oregon will win. I'll say something like 30-17.
And so you taking Oregon State in the points,
Oregon State in the under.
and you're going under. All right. I'm going to go totally different, man. I'll tell you what. I think this could be the college I ain't gonna call it the blowout of the week, but I think halftime the game is over with. Oregon a 50 burger here, 50-28. Oregon over the total. They cover easily. I'll take Oregon in this one. Brian.
I'm with you too. I think Oregon will catch on at some point. I just don't know when that's going to be. I think they got better athletes than Oregon State. I watched a little bit of Oregon State's first game. Very unimpressive. I've got Oregon winning the game by 10 points, so they're not covering. I got Oregon State covering.
And 50.5.
Yeah, I found myself agreeing with him.
I think I'll go over.
Over. All right. What's up, Daniel Barry? And Keith's going to have his chance now. Go for it, Keith.
Yeah, I found myself agreeing with Tim, too, as far as Oregon State keeping the game a lot closer than what that point spread is telling us. And what was the over-under number again?
50.5.
I'm going to say it's going to go under that.
Okay. Gotcha. And the fourth game of the week is, it started off on me this time. Yeah. Boston College. Team has pulled off an upset already against Florida State. They are going to travel to Mizzou to play the Missouri Tigers. Missouri, a 17-point favorite. 54 is the over-under in this game. This is the blowout of the week. I'm sorry. I've seen Missouri play. I saw Boston College stretch just to beat Florida State. This ain't Florida State, but boys and girls, this is one of the top 12 teams in the country. This is a team capable of going 11-1 this year, and they very easily could go 12-0. I am sold on this team. 47-17, ass kicking. Missouri wins easily over the total. Brian.
Okay. Boston College is ranked number 24. Missouri's moved up to number 6. They've shut out their first two opponents. I know they were playing the Little Sisters of the Poor in those games, but it's still hard to shut a team out. And their defense has looked good. That's the one question I had going into the season with them. I didn't have any questions offensively. Brady Cook is back, and Luther Burden is back. They're using Luther Burden kind of the way the Chiefs are going to use Xavier Worthy. Burden is fast. They could use special plays with him, and he can get downfield. Boston College will need to blitz a lot to have any chance because Cook is a little bit – his passer rating goes down a drop when he gets blitzed. So BC is going to have to blitz more than they usually blitzed to have a chance in this game. BC offense, they run the ball 67% of the time. I think Missouri will shut that down. So I've got Missouri winning the game and covering.
54, over, under.
I think over.
All right. Keith.
Yeah, I agree. Missouri, to me, seems like a team that this probably worthy of top 10 status. And Boston College, I don't think is in that same level. So I'm going to go with Missouri. They're at home, right? Missouri's at home. Yeah,
That's correct. 54. 54.
Yeah. I'm going to say that it's going to go under, but I don't think it'll go under by much.
All right. Tim.
Yeah, I don't see BC having a chance in this game. Mizzou 48, BC 16.
Yeah, you came real close to mine there, over the total. All right, folks, we're going to go to NFL this week. And Thursday night. Let me flip.
You want to do recap or do you want to do just flow through the games?
Huh?
You want to do recap what we did last week or do you want to do that after?
We can do a recap of last week. The Ravens lose to the Chiefs. Brian, Mike, and Keith got that one. Eagles, they covered the 2.5. Everybody but Keith and Brian got that one. Saints and Panthers, me, the dumbass, took the Panthers. Everybody else won that game. Vikings and Giants. Me and Harris, we liked it. Yeah, me and Harris liked the Giants last week. I mean, the Vikings last week. They covered easily. Patriots and Bengals. I went against the crowd. I liked the Patriots week 1. They showed me something. They not only they covered and won the game. Steelers Falcons. Me and Mike. We took the Steelers in that game. We did well. Texans and Colts. Everybody but Keith stood with the Texans. They covered by that half point. They did what they had to do. The Bills, the Cardinals, are everybody's worst nightmare. They went against everybody. None of us got that one right. Titans and Bears. Keith and Brian, they both stuck by the Bears. Bears won and covered. Jags and Dolphins. Dolphins win the ball game. They couldn't cover that half point to Brian. He smelled a rat. He took the Jags and took a half point there. Broncos, Seahawks. Mike, all by his lonesome, took the Seahawks. They covered by that half point. Raiders, Chargers. Chargers easily covered. Brian, Lone Ranger there. He took it. Cowboys and Browns. Me and Tim, we like the Cowboys in that ball game. They easily covered against the Browns. Commanders and Bucks. Me and Brian, we went out on the boat and we sunk. And the Bucks blowed us up. The Bucks win that one by 17, and everybody else got that one right. Rams and Lions. Lions did cover. Me and Keith. We stuck with the Rams this week, and we went down. Jets and Niners. Tim went with the Jets Monday night. Everybody else went with the Niners, and we covered that one right there as well. Over-unders for the week. Tim, 7 out of he went 7-7. Keith, 5-9. Rob, 8-6. Alan, he was on here with us. He went 7-7. Earl went 6 and 8. He went 6 and 8. Now let's see. Were you still with us, Brian? Did you go with the over and unders with us?
No, I don't. I was with you, but I didn't do that.
Right. I didn't think you were with us on that. So, all right.
Hey, Daniel
So
Berry.
we're going to NFL Week 2 right now, and I got to spin my pencil to see who goes first. It's going to be Brian. Brian's going to start us off. Bills and Dolphins. Thursday night football. The Dolphins are a 1.5-point favorite at home, 48.5. Tell us what you think, bro.
All right. Buffalo's going to have to count a lot on Josh Allen, and he delivered in the first week. They fell behind 17-0 in Arizona, but Josh Allen got 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. You just hope he makes it through the year. He's got a good offensive line with that. And Shakir, I think is his name, looks like he's going to be a wide receiver for him, and they got 2 good tight ends. I think Buffalo is very strong, but now on the other hand, they lost a lot. And Miami, last week I was concerned about Miami's offensive line and defensive line, how strong they are up front. I've got Miami winning this game, but not covering. I got them winning by 1 point. So Buffalo on my cover and Miami winning. And I want to say too this I don't want to get too far off track here, but I was really pissed when I saw what happened to Tyreek Hill. Watching the video, that's about 3 cops that should be fired.
One's on admin leave. Don't know if they did anything for him, but he's on admin leave. One of them is.
Yeah.
Are you going to go over or under 48.5?
I go over.
Over. All righty. Keith.
Yeah, in my mind, it's kind of like I'm circling around with this one. I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win this one by a field goal, though. And it's just I worry sometimes because the Bills can strike quick and do like go out a run, but the Dolphins
both teams can. Both teams.
Yeah, both teams can do that.
Yeah.
They can just
both teams
all of a sudden score 3 unanswered touchdowns or something.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, well, why don't they do that all the time? And maybe they can, but then they don't.
48.5 for the game.
that's a lot of points, but these are two teams, again, that can be explosive. And that Miami Heat, though, I'm going to say under.
Thankfully, it's going to be a night game, so it won't be as bad.
Yeah,
it won't
right.
be as bad.
Right, it's a night game, so it helps. So, yeah.
It does. Short week, too. That sometimes makes me think that the defenses might not have enough time to read what the offenses are going to be throwing at them, and that could make things a little higher scoring. But it's early in the year. I'm going to stick with the under on this,
Okay.
while realizing that there's this Thursday nights are kind of hard to judge as far as how many points are going to be scored.
Tim.
Yeah, don't get me started about why I just don't like the every Thursday night. You want to do opening night?
I don't either.
Fine. You want to do Thanksgiving night? Fine. You want to throw one or two more out there? Fine. Not every week, but that's for another time. Well, the thing is, though, no Mostert for the Dolphins. Okay. You still got Tyreek Hill, but even with all them weapons, they only put up 17 points against the Jaguars. I actually don't expect it to be much higher this week, but I have them winning 23-21.
Right. So you got them covering.
Yep.
So Tim's going with the under and taking the Dolphins. Yeah, you know what? I just think the Bills are a different team out of Buffalo. And that's one of like three teams. You take them away from their house, they're not the same team at all. I think this Miami team, I'm not going to say they're going to cruise to this win, but I think they're going to put 34 on the board, 34-28. I'm going to take Dolphins and go over the total this week. Let's go to Keith. Keith, the 49ers, early game, going to Minnesota, the Vikings, a 6-point favorite, 45.5. Keith.
Yeah, now it's like, are the Vikings a decent team, or did they just play a team that's so bad that it just makes you look better than you really are?
Right.
49ers, they're tough. It's just, I don't know. Again, early season game, road game for San Francisco. I think they're going to win the game, but 6.5 or whatever it is.
Flat out 6.
Flat 6. Yeah, I'm looking at more like a 4-point game there. And the points again?
45 and a hook.
45 and a hook. Oh, boy. I'm gonna go under that too.
All right. Gotcha. Tim.
And being the head bad jabroni of the football picking, I think the Vikings may have played a bad team. They're all right on defense, but the way that the 49ers, yeah, it's a short week, and yeah, they got to travel mid-country. I'm not going to say cross-country because I'm not Michael Peterson.
Right. you know Minnesota's not on the east.
Well, yeah, you'd probably think that wasn't really traveling very far because it's West Coast to West Coast kind of.
But I do see them winning 33-20.
So you'll take the Niners and the over. Yeah, I'm with Tim. I'm with Tim here. The Niners, people are still skeptical of Brock Purdy. I don't know why. He's a top 5 quarterback in this league, folks. They're going to blow this team out of the water, 37-20. They're going to march into Minnesota. They're going to be 2-0, not a problem. Niners in the over.
And this is probably with CMC out for another week, maybe?
Yeah. Well, they say he may play, but they said that if the pressure was not on him to have to play, they was going to give him another week. Yeah. So I think they can go in there without him, and they're fine. I don't think they can. And their tight end had a little scrape this week too.
Yeah.
But I even think he could set. They're good enough. They got enough good players in their defense. Their defense is just they just waxing everybody.
I might be alone on this. I really love that horn there in that stadium, though. That thing that they do there at Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Skull chair.
Yeah.
Brian.
Well, Minnesota's quarterback, Sam Darnold, looked like the all-world best quarterback in the NFL last week. I mean, he was on fire. But San Francisco is the real deal. Fred Warner is just year in, year out. He's an amazing linebacker. Of course, the Jets fans, they're settling into that game Sunday night, and they hear CMC's not playing, and it's like, yippee. But Jordan Mason comes on the field, and he looked every bit like CMC. They didn't miss a beat. So
Undrafted.
Undrafted. I think it was about this time last year that San Francisco went to Chicago, and they got caught up in that 08 flood and lost to the Bears. But there'll be no floods in Minnesota. I think San Francisco will be ready to play, and they'll win the game by 11. So I'm picking San Francisco to win and cover.
45 and a half. You like them over?
Over again. They scored a ton of points against the Jets. I think they'll keep rolling.
All right. Tim, Seattle Seahawks, week 1. Yeah, pretty good. Patriots, week 1. They go into New England. Actually won a ball game. Seattle's a 3.5 favorite going into New England. But the points, how about this? 38.5 is all they got is the over and under in this game. They don't think nobody can score. What do you think, Tim?
I mean, Gino looked okay. I'll say that much. They looked okay. In another home game. And Seattle's still getting 3.5 points on. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, they're given 3.5.
So New England's a 3.5 point favorite?
No, I'm sorry.
Seattle's a 3.5 point favorite.
Seattle's a 3.5, so they're giving away 3. Yeah. So the Patriots get 3.5. The Seattle's favorite.
Boy, that defense looks all world against the Bengals, and I mean, my problem is well, yeah. All right, give me the Patriots to win. But I'm actually going to say it's going to be 20 to 16.
So you're going to go under the total. Tim's going under
Yes,
the total, but he will take you 3.5, even though you don't think you're going to need it. But you're picking the Patriots outright to win.
Yes,
I got you. Coming to me. Hey, I like what you see in here. New England might have played one of the best games defensively of the whole weekend. They look clean. They're coming home now. They have no reason. They don't have no monkey on their back. They're not supposed to be worth a damn. They are decent. Seahawks, you're getting them away from Seattle. Totally different team. New England will pull off another upset. 21-20. They're going to win this ball game. It's going to go slightly over the total, but you give me some points, I'll take them. They're not going to need them. New England wins outright. Brian.
Looks like the Legion of Boom is back in Seattle. And Tariq Whelan had a terrific rookie year and kind of a down year last year, but he had a great game last week. So I like Seattle's offensive line. Well, I like the running backs, Kenny Walker III and Charbonneau both. I like both of them. Mm-hmm. So New England held Cincinnati without any points until 1 minute and 10 seconds left to play in the third period. Their defense was terrific. Well, I've got Seattle winning this game by 6, so I'm picking Seattle to win and cover.
38.5.
I'll go under.
Under. Oh, okay. And Keith.
Yeah, I've still got a little bit of doubts for both of these teams. Well, more than just a few doubts for the Patriots overall for the long run. But Seattle, I was impressed when I turned that game on, the way that they were playing football. A lot of times when you do go out east, a team like Seattle, it can be kind of a struggle. But I think that the talent and the skill disparity here, I think Seattle is going to find a way to cover that 3.5. And I don't expect it to be a super high scoring game, which is what the line is telling us as well. I'm going to say like 23-17 or something. So I'll go over, and Seattle will cover that.
Oh, okay. 23-17.
Somewhere around there, yeah. That was
40. Oh, yep. So Keith will go with the Seahawks and go with the over. Gotcha. Coming to me, the New York Giants traveling to Washington to play the Commanders. Commanders are a 2-point favorite. 43.5 is the total. I'm looking back at the weekend, and from the time that I turned the TV on to watch Washington play till the time I turned it off, they look like garbage.
Yeah.
Total trash. I
It's
thought,
like, here we go again.
I thought the Giants were going to be bad. I'm not sure this is not the worst team in football. I know New England's not. They're better. New England's better than this team in Washington. Maybe Carolina's worse. I don't know. Maybe the Bears. We'll find out in a later time and date. I think the Bears showed a lot more than this team did. Titans, we'll see. Until they show me something, I ain't picking them again. I'm taking the Giants to win this game outright. 43.5 points. Ha, ha, ha. Let them play 6 quarters, 8 quarters. They might get 43.5. Shit, it ain't going to happen. 19-15, the Giants win outright. And so I'll definitely go Giants. I'll go under the total. Sadly, I'll watch it, and I'll be rooting for Washington, but I'm not expecting anything. Brian.
I think nothing lies more than week one. Some teams show up and they don't know it, but they're not ready to play. There are a few teams that were totally not ready to play last week.
Yeah.
But I see Washington as having a much higher ceiling than the Giants. So at some point, Washington will hit their stride. I don't think the Giants can ever hit their stride. They just don't have the talent. So I'm going with Washington to win this game by 10. So win and cover.
43.5.
I'll go over.
Over. All right.
You know, the rookie, he did run the ball well.
Yeah, and that's my problem, though.
I don't know how long that's going to last. But
you're right.
Yeah.
Right. He's 6'2" and weighs about, I think he's 220 something.
I don't think he weighs that much. Yeah.
He probably not. He can't keep doing that and survive. He's got to stay in the pocket. If you're going to throw it 25 times, sit in the pocket at least 20 of the times. You might be able to get by running 5 times.
What did you think of the play of Washington's offensive line last week?
You know what? They ran the ball pretty decent at times, but I was watching the quarterback so much, and he just made so many stupid mistakes. He was running for his life, it looked like, so they weren't the best line in the world. What'd you think?
I didn't see the game. I just saw the highlights. I was just kind of wondering how Allegretti was doing at right guard. And
I didn't think the offensive line played exceptionally well or bad. I thought they did okay, but just
the defense just they were running. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? That kind of defense, and they had no clue as to what was going on. They were just getting schooled, and they can't keep playing that way. Their defensive line, they just can't. I don't know.
Well, just remember that I think the biggest improvement happens between week one and week 2.
Let's hope so.
After coaches see what they've got.
Keith,
I still have room for some optimism going through the season with Washington improved. They had a good draft. I think they are a team that probably wasn't ready for week 1.
Maybe.
I just don't know when this team is going to take that step to where they start looking better. They don't seem to be a team in recent years and last several years that plays good at home for whatever reason it is. And there's still some things that they do that just seem all too familiar. Like missing the field goals, missing scoring opportunities, dropping balls when you got a chance for an interception. St. Just seems to do that at least once a game, if not twice. They can't catch balls on their secondary. Their defense just
late hits.
and that's the other thing. They on third, they can get to a team to third and long. They can't seem to stop a passing play. When they get pressure on the quarterback, which they seem to do, but they never sack the quarterback. The guy always gets away. Yeah. And it's just these frustrating things that happen. Those are the kinds of things that this coaching staff, hopefully they can clean that up so when they get home, they get the quarterback down, they can get the other team's punter on the field more often. I'm hoping that the changes that this team made are going to eventually show promise. The quarterback, I think, might have been a little bit too excited for week one. He had a little bit of the happy feet, was taken off a little too soon. And then when he had some guys open, he was just throwing the ball way too long. I mean, he was just overthrowing his receivers by more than 5 yards in some cases. So I'm going to take Washington just because I think that the Giants might be one of those few teams that is just so bad. And like Brian was saying, not a lot of upside maybe there. And I don't know if their coach is even going to make it through the rest of the year. He might end up back in Buffalo before the season is over if there's a job open for him there. But I think Washington will cover this. It's going to be an ugly game, a sloppy game. Somehow I just hope that they can luck their way through it, make enough plays, and win this one. And again, the over-under number was
43 and a half.
No.
And, let me add this. 80% chance of rain Sunday in Washington.
Yeah, okay, well, under.
Okay. Yeah. So
sorry about being long-winded on that, but
okay.
When it's your team and you're just kind of you get frustrated watching them play.
I got you.
Yeah. Tim. And again, I think in the last 30 years or something, I don't remember what I told you a few weeks ago. Washington's only had a winning season like 3 times. Or no, what was it? 10 wins or
10
I think their high was 10, and I think they only had a winning record like 3 times.
Yeah.
Probably the RG3 year. But yeah, sounds about right. Let's say hi to Philip Reynolds. He said hello to me in the chat. Hello, Philip. Seriously, Washington, you've got talent. Their names are Terry McLaurin and Austin Eckler. It's time to show up, and I think they do this week. Washington 24, Giants 12.
So you're going with the under.
Yep.
All right. We are going to Brian now. Brian, the Chargers.
Any pick sixes by Danny Dimes?
Let's hope so.
Oh, yeah, man, why not? Why not?
St. Juice.
Yeah, there we go. He'll get it.
The defensive lineman gets it on a tip pass near the goal line.
St. Juice, not the
Or
hospital.
St. Juice will be running it back, and he'll get inside the 5-yard line, and he'll fumble the ball, and it'll go through the end zone for a touchback.
And then it'll go through and be a touchback. Yep. Well, no. Chargers, 6.5 point favorites this week after showing off for their coach last week. They're heading to the powerhouse, Carolina Panthers.
The mighty Panthers.
All right.
They lost. The mighty Panthers lost Derek Brown, who's a defensive tackle, might be their best player, so he's out for the year. So it gets even worse for Carolina. The Chargers are going to look like they're going to be primarily a run team this year, and they can run the ball. Joe Alt allowed 0 pressures against Max Crosby. Do you know how hard that is?
Yep.
That guy never quits, Crosby. I mean, he's there for the all day long. In his first game.
Yeah, he was proud. He's a former Chief.
His dad was a very good offensive lineman for Kansas City for many years. So I've been following him all through his entire college career, and I've been waiting for Joe Alt, and he has not disappointed. I've got Chargers by 11 over Carolina.
39.5.
Over.
Yeah. All right. Keith.
Saw that mock draft I saw on CBS today had Carolina picking a new quarterback in a draft, and it was the one out of University of Miami whose first name happens to be Cam. So there could be some continuity there. Another
Warren.
Cam,
Yeah.
yeah, instead of Cam Newton.
Right.
Panthers can't be very good to get beat that badly by New Orleans. I mean, Saints probably have some things that are good on their team, secondary and on their defense, but golly, I mean, to get beat that bad. And Bryce Young, they showed him on the sideline at one point because I think they took him out so he didn't get hurt, but he just looked completely dejected. I don't know if he's really playing with much confidence right now anyway. Chargers are, Harbaugh's got to be a shot in the arm. What he brings to a team attitude-wise. And there was a fight, and I don't know if anybody with the Chargers or the Raiders got suspended this week, but they sent it to the league office where there was a fight after a touchdown behind the end zone. I don't know if anybody's heard anything of whether or not there was any other disciplinary
I have not heard
action taken as far as suspensions or fines or anything, but I don't know that it really matters. I think the Chargers are going to roll in this game. Just maybe not by as much as what the Saints did, but I didn't expect the Saints to beat them that soundly either.
39 and a half total.
Yeah, over.
All right. Tim.
Yeah, that's a nice hot piece of garbage for the Teppers there in Carolina. The joke I could make here is that will the Carolina Panthers have a worse winning percentage than the Chicago White Sox in 2024?
Yeah, that's true.
It's
or at least 2 more weeks.
Yeah. It's obviously I'm going to take the Chargers here. 31-10. So give me the over.
I got you. Brian, the Saints looked really good the first week. Cowboys, they're heading down to Dallas. Cowboys look really good the first week. 6.5-point favorites are the Cowboys at home. 45.5 points total. What do you like, Brian?
Derek Carr can go off on you sometimes, and he showed that. He and Sam Darnold looked like the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFL last week. I like the secondary of the Saints, of course, with the 2 former Chiefs back there, including L'Jarius Sneed. They'll have their hands full, but we'll see how they do. I'm picking Dallas to win by 9 points. So I'm picking Dallas to win the game and to cover. Cowboys, I don't know how long the ancient backfield is going to hold up, but the offensive line played better than I thought they'd play with BB at center from K-State. And I'm kind of liking the Cowboys, yeah.
45.5.
Over.
All right. Keith.
That's a lot of points. And I'm keeping in mind that the Saints aren't nearly as good as what that performance against the Panthers was like. But I don't know. I think Watson for the Browns, he's in some more legal trouble, isn't he? With his
he got sued again.
What he does with the opposite gender, and he was paid almost as much as what Dak Prescott got paid. So that could be.
They owe him $173 million. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I'm going to pick this to be closer than that. It's possible Dallas covers that, but I'm going to take the Saints with those points, and I'm going to go with the under again.
All right. Tim.
You're taking the Saints, Keith, to win?
Yes, with the points, yeah.
Straight up. What's straight
Well,
up?
No, I'll take Dallas to win the game, but
Dallas to win.
Okay. Tim.
Yeah, granted, the Browns' offensive line looked like Swiss cheese with all those bad, the tackle performances. Not good. Injuries. Okay, Micah Parsons looked fantastic. I think this will be bad Derek Carr week, but they can still put up some points. They have. I wonder if Michael Thomas is ever going to come back, but we'll see. Cowboys 37, Saints 28.
So you got the Cowboys winning and covering. And over.
Over.
And over.
Yeah. Oh, look, the Saints played the Panthers. Everybody ought to put 40 on them. I don't care if you don't have a quarterback. If you just have a running back, grab the ball there and just run with it. Panthers not very good. Cowboys beat the Browns in Cleveland. And the Cleveland does have a defense. But they still put how many on the board against 33?
There's 33-17.
33-17. They put 33 on the board against a Browns team that's supposed to be a top 10 team in the NFL. Same thing they do. Huh?
Next Level Nonce is with us tonight.
Oh, what's good, lads? What's up? They put 33 on a team in their building that's better defense than a lot better than the Saints. This is not going to be a contest, folks. This is going to be a blowout. 38-19. I'll go over. I'll take the Cowboys all day in this ball game and every day in between. This ain't going to be a ball game. Halftime, it's going to be over with again. Cowboys win and roll. We go into Keith. Keith, the Colts, 3.5-point favorites on the road, going to play the Packers without Jordan Love this week. 40.5 is the total. What do you think, my friend?
Well, without Jordan Love, and I think the guy out of Liberty might be the guy that's starting.
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis is starting, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot out of him that I liked when he was with Tennessee. I haven't seen a whole lot out of Richardson, and because he hasn't really played a whole lot.
That was a great deep ball he threw, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
He's,
Falling backwards, he threw the ball 63 yards in the air while falling backwards.
yeah, I think the Colts find a way to make a couple big plays at least in this game that the Packers won't make. So I'm going to take the Colts to win and cover that spread.
40.5.
I'll go over.
All right. Tim.
Yeah, I mean, well, in Indy, of course, Richardson had a couple great throws in that game. Didn't use Jonathan Taylor that much, but he might have scored once. He'll probably get more involved in this game. The Malik Willis effect, Lee, makes me think thrice about how many points they're going to put up this week. I'll take Green Bay to win, or not Green Bay, Indianapolis to win 24-18. So, Indy to cover and go over.
And the over. All right, coming to me now. Every game, I like to look at four factions. I like to look at the kicking game. I like to look at the quarterback play, the offensive line, offense, and the defense. Offense, right now, without a quarterback, just talking about the offense, I like Green Bay better. Defense, I like Green Bay better. Kicking game, I don't think it's that much difference in it. Quarterback play right now, I don't see a lot of difference. I mean, neither one have a lot of time behind quarterback at all. Green Bay's at home. I don't understand the line. I really don't. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, and I think it's very difficult to give anybody 3.5 in this game. I'll take the points. I think Green Bay wins outright, 16-12. How about that? I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'll go under the total, take the Packers, outright win as well, 16-12. Brian.
Anthony Richardson, he can hit a couple long balls, but he also misses quite a few passes as well. On the other hand, I can't see Green Bay winning any games with Malik Willis. And Jordan Love's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, if not longer. So Green Bay, I think, is in trouble. I'm picking Indianapolis to win and cover.
All right. Okay. And 40.5.
Under.
All right. Gotcha.
I like Indy's offensive line too, by the way. Real well. I like their other line.
Real quick, Rob, you're talking about the 4 things that you look at. Now, if the head coach is Ron Rivera,
Well, as long as one of the players got a gun, you ain't got to worry about it. As long as they take care of him and send him out back before the game's over with, you don't have to worry about
for
it.
me, if Ron Rivera's the coach, you don't have to look at anything else. You just
Yeah.
go the other way.
The offense don't count. The offense don't count him because you don't non-existent because he's running the ball every play. You taking away from the quarterback. We're going to Tim. The Browns, Cleveland, Brownie the Elf. He is back. I saw him in the middle of the field.
Yep.
They're heading to the Jags to play Jacksonville Jags. Jags are 3-point favorite at home against the Browns. 41 and a hook. Tim, take it away.
The Browns sure did nothing to help me out, and plus the press has been completely pooping on Watson this week, especially with his little legal troubles and the fact that they seem to think that any other quarterback could run that offense better than Watson. And from what Tom Brady was saying was that the only reason he had success in Houston was because they ran the Clemson offense. So either we find the Clemson offense or this could get very ugly very quickly. Jacksonville's going to look to not go 0-2. So I will take the Jaguars to win.
41 and a half.
Let's give it 33. Let's go 28-21.
So you'll go the over.
I'll go the over.
All right. Me and Tim looking at things a lot alike here. Look, I don't like either one of these teams that great, but you got the Jags at home. You got a Jags with a quarterback that wants to play, and the one for Cleveland acts like he doesn't want to play. The Jags are 3-point favorite at home, so the league or the betting system thinks this is thinks if they played each other 50 times, one would win 25 and the other one would win 25 times. I don't see it that way. I think the Jags are the better team all the way around. I do. He said 28-21. I ain't going to go quite that far. I'm going to go 26-21. I'll take the Jacksonville Jags at home to cover, and I will go with the over. Brian.
They showed the Cleveland-Dallas game in Kansas City. I watched that game. And the teams that beat Dallas beat them up physically. That's how Kansas City beats them. That's how Philadelphia beats them. And Cleveland came in with no game plan. They did not run the ball. It seemed like they were in third and long all game long. One analyst wondered if Deshaun Watson is really right-handed. That's how bad the passing was. And what's Cleveland going to do in the future? What are they going to do in the future with $173 million around their neck? Jameis Winston is a better quarterback. He's a little injured though. Is he playing this week?
He's probably listed. I don't know what their depth chart for 1, 2, 3 is. Probably. DTR could be. If he's that hurt, then Dorian Thompson-Robinson could be second string.
No, not Winston hurt. I think Watson got a little banged up. Okay. Jacksonville, they're pretty stout, pretty physical. I think Jacksonville will win this game by 9 points. I got them covering and winning.
41 and a half.
I go over.
All right. Keith.
That touchdown that Lawrence threw when he hit that guy in the back of the end zone, that was a terrific pass.
It was a nice play.
Yeah, earlier today when I was trying to make my picks real quick at work, and I was, in case my power got knocked out from some high winds or something later, I said Jaguars, but they wouldn't cover. I'm rethinking that part of it though, because when I was doing that, I was thinking, well, Cleveland's defense is still potentially capable of causing some problems for the quarterback.
Yep.
I don't know. Traveling and Cleveland was such a mess, it seemed like last week. So I'm going to take the Jaguars to cover the
It's
3.
supposed to be 90. It's supposed to be 92 degrees game time.
I'm going to pick the over just because I think the Browns might find a way to score a couple times, but a couple touchdowns.
But you taking the Jags into cover.
Yep.
And the over. All right. Okay. We're coming to the Jets, coming my way. The Jets, a 4-point favorites, heading to Tennessee to play the Titans. Might as well call them the Titanics now. Looks like, but guess what? I'm going down with the damn ship. Something tells me the Jets are not going to be the same way away from home that they are at home. I don't know. We're going to find out. We got to see what number 8 can pull out of the bag. If he can do it, they got a great chance. Jets win this game outright, but 4 points too much. 24-23. The Titans will cover. So I'm going to take the Titans on the cover end, but on a straight up, I'll take the Jets straight up. 41.5. No, 24-23. I will go with the over. Brian.
The Jets were one of those teams that were totally not ready to play. They gave up points on 8 consecutive drives, their famous defense. I think Robert Saleh, I was watching that game, he's just unimaginative. It was just a bland game, both defensively and offensively.
Yep.
And Harry Reddick is back there, even though he is fined $800,000 for not playing and still holding out. He's the only one. He's back there clapping his hands saying, boy, they need me now. Yeah, they really do need him. Tennessee didn't look great. Will Levis made a stupid decision that led to a pick 6 against the Bears.
Yep.
But I got actually, because of the talent that they've got a wide receiver, and those 2 defensive tackles are big time in Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to win the game and cover. And I'll take the under on that.
Yeah, I mistyped when I put that in there earlier. I said Jets win as an underdog. Well, their favorite. I meant the Titans win as an underdog.
So Brian, you're taking the Titans and 41.5. You like you over?
Under.
Under. All right. Keith, go for it, bro.
I don't know. You heard what I just said. I said earlier I typed Jets win as an underdog. I obviously meant the Titans win as an underdog because Jets are late favorite. You know, even though you know Levis made that terrible decision, and he did that earlier in the game too, where he threw a pass like that could have been a disaster, and got lucky that it wasn't. But the Titans' defense in the first half, well, it's really the Titans' defense the entire game played pretty solid. And their running game in the first half, they abandoned it seemed like, but their running game in the first half looked pretty good. Pollard had some good runs. The offensive line was doing a good job. And I thought Will Levis at times looked like a good leader back there for him. Mm-hmm. So if they can clean up Levis and keep him from making the dumb decisions like that and just tell him not to try to get too fancy with the ball like that, because he looks like a confident guy to me out there. I still think that there's a lot to be. In fact, I'm more hopeful for the Titans now than I was last week when you were picking them to win the division, Rob. I saw a lot of things I do like with that team. Yeah. I think they're going to win this game and maybe win it comfortably against the Jets. And I'm going to go, what was the over-under?
41 and a hook.
I'll go a little bit over that.
Okay.
I made a mistake when I was talking about New Orleans. I said L'Jarius Sneed. Sneed plays for Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah. And
he'll
played well in that game.
Will play. He'll probably be covering Garrett Wilson. So that's going to be something interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Sauce Gardner will also be covering Tennessee's best receivers.
I
don't expect a lot of points in this game. I expect the Jets to go on long, cumbersome drives with Breece Hall running the ball, maybe getting the little 6-7 yard dunk passes, maybe take every once in a while go down the field to Wilson. So I don't expect there to be a lot of points. I have the Jets winning, but not covering. So I'll take the Jets 19-17.
Oh, so you got them winning as well, but not covering.
Right.
And you got it going under.
Under, yep.
I got you. We're going to go to Brian. Brian, I got to pick up my cheese doodles. So I do that.
Mhm.
I turn my page. The Bucks, they're heading to Detroit to play the Lions. Ain't that an old NFC Central?
Morris.
Oh,
I see
yeah.
Morris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bucks at the Lions. Lions are 7-point favorites this week. 51.5. Somebody likes some scoring this week. Go for it, Brian.
This is going to be one of the week's best games. Baker Mayfield is very comfortable at Tampa Bay. And I was wondering if since they kept their core and didn't make changes, would they keep their standard where it was last year? They exceeded it. They were ready to play, and they played very well. We know what Detroit is. They ran the ball down the Rams' throat in overtime with David Montgomery. That was an incredible drive. Their will to win, their want to win is very high under that coach. Detroit they drafted two defensive backs, Terry Arnold and Eric Rakestraw. They played some last week, not a lot. I expect to see more of them this week because Carlton Davis got toasted back there. So one of those guys is going to have to make up for that. I've got Detroit winning and just barely covering. Detroit by 9. I have Detroit winning and covering.
51.5.
Over.
Over. Okay. Keith.
All right, the Lions are favored by 7.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
See, I don't know if they're going to cover that. I think Mayfield does look very comfortable right now at quarterback. They were playing a Washington team that just has some stuff to put together yet. I think the Lions win, but I think the Buccaneers are going to keep this one fairly close. And I'm going to go with the under on this one. I just kind of have a feeling Tampa Bay and Detroit's defenses are both going to flex their muscles a little bit this week.
Tim.
I won't say this will be a defense need not apply, but I will say it's going to be very close. I will take Tampa to cover, but Detroit to win 28-27.
Yeah. And I did say I'd pick
you're
Detroit.
going over the total, 28-27.
Yeah.
I got you, man. Wow. We must have got together before the day's over with, when the day started. I mean, well, we didn't. I swear we didn't.
We did not.
Yeah, I'm the same way you guys are saying. Bucks are not going to lose by 7 points. I'm with you. Lions win this ball game 27-21. Half point under the total. I'll go under 5 field goals. They win, but they're not going to cover. The Lions are not going to cover this game. Bucks will. So we'll see what happens there. But Lions 27, Bucks 24. Lions win, Bucks cover. All right, Keith.
What was the line? 51.5? Are you under that?
Mm-hmm.
So you're under that.
By half
a point.
Half a point. I just went with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Raiders going to the Ravens. Biggest spread of the week, 9.5 points. Raiders are favored over the Raiders. 41 to hook, though, is all the points it is in the game.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of weird.
that is. I really don't think the Raiders are going to come in and score the East Coast. Have at it, Keith.
Ravens could be a good team, but I mean, the way they took their opening drive against the Chiefs and they just went right down the field and put it in the end zone. However, I mean, it took I think they had to convert a couple of third downs in that possession.
Yeah.
And one of them was at least a long third down. I don't know. I don't think the Ravens are quite clicking on all cylinders yet. And I'm going to go with the Raiders with those points. think the Ravens win the game. And I have a feeling it'll be. How many points did you say on this one?
41 the hook.
I'm gonna go under that.
Okay. All right. So Keith will go under. Tim, go for it.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew will not be blessed this week. Boy, he got exposed. I
Bless
mean,
you.
yeah, that was a fake sneeze, but thank you.
No, my wife just was sneezing. So the timing of it, right? The timing of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Vegas will be lucky to get one score against this Baltimore team. And I think that Baltimore can pretty much do whatever they want. Baltimore 36, Vegas 8.
Woo! Wow. So you're going to go over. And Tim says over the total, and I will take the Ravens big time. I couldn't be any further away from you, Tim. I'm with Keith on this ball game, man. I really, really, really I think the Raiders can stop the run. It's all a matter if Baltimore can throw the football on this team. I don't think they can. I don't think they can. They're going to have to run it down their throat, and I just think it's going to be a slow, ploddy game. But it's going to be some running, and there's going to be some passing from the Raiders here to keep this thing close. I actually think it's going to go over the total of the game, though. 41.5, I just think they score more than that. Ravens 27 and Raiders 21. Ravens win. Ravens cover. Ravens win. Raiders cover over. Brian.
The Baltimore Ravens need to figure a few things out. Probably put their wide receivers in white shoes. It might be a good idea. And they got to figure out between Derrick Henry at running back and Lamar Jackson at quarterback what kind of offense they're going to run. Mm-hmm. Henry likes to run with his quarterback under center. Lamar doesn't like to operate that way because that restricts his running. Mm-hmm. And the thing that the Chiefs found out, it was very predictable. They kind of knew what the Raiders are going to do each play. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem that they're going to have to figure out. This is going to be a very physical game. The Raiders can get in the trenches and beat you up. So can Baltimore. The Raiders, I used to think of them as Satan's Raiders. Years ago, we used to have a rivalry after they piled on Lenny Dawson. And I'm back to that. They looked like a group of thugs again when they started that fight with about 3 plays left to play in the game there in the back of the end zone. That was totally uncalled for. Baltimore, I've got winning this game easily, and I think it will go over the total. I think they will figure out their offense to be – Lively had a great game against us, by the way. I think they'll figure it out. And Derrick Henry, he's a handful. He can still play.
Okay. A 41.5, you like it way over.
Yeah, I think I'll go over.
Okay. We go to Tim. Tim, we got the Rams. This week they're traveling to the Cardinals. Cardinals are favored by 1.5 in this game. 49.5 is a total of this game. Have at it, Tim.
I think the reason why is with Puka Nacua being out for 4 weeks. So they really like what the Cardinals did against the Bills. I will say this, though. Kyler Murray better stay in the pocket because there were there's at least one play where Marvin Harrison was wide open and didn't see him. If you're going to give me points for the Rams, I'll take them. The win, I'll say 24-23.
Who wins straight up?
The Rams.
Win straight up, and they get the points as well. So you're going to go Under the total. Under
Under
the
the
total.
total, yes.
Under the total. Coming to me. Yeah, man. I don't understand this line at all. Rams are the better team. The Rams are just the better team. They have a better quarterback. Their offense is better. They are hoping that the little jumping bean runs for 150 yards against their team. Ain't happening. Ain't gonna happen. Rams win this one straight up, 31-28. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I'll go over the total. Rams don't need the points. 31-28, straight to up. Brian.
This line is because not only is Nakua injured, they lost two starting offensive linemen. Newtbaum is going to be out, and Avila will be out as well. So they have to replace, two of their starting offensive linemen, and they already gave up 35% pressures. Stafford was under a lot of pressure in that game. The Rams are deep at wide receiver. Without Nakua, they got two other guys. Derek Robinson used to play for the Chiefs. He's outstanding. He can play. Cooper Kupp was phenomenal. He's one of the slowest receivers in the NFL, 4.65 speed.
But he runs such great routes.
His routes are next level, and his catching skills and footwork is just unbelievable.
Yep.
I've got the Rams winning a tight one by 4. I think it'll be low scoring. Those put me under the total.
All right, you're going to go under the total. Okay. Keith.
I pretty much find myself agreeing with everything Brian said right there. I think the Rams find a way to pull it out, to find ways to cover for those injuries up front enough that they can win the game. The receivers, I think, are a little too much for the Cardinals. Cardinals had a good start against the Bills, and I think the Cardinals will be improved with the draft that they had. I don't trust Kyler Murray too much, though, and they surprised everybody with that win that they had against Dallas at home early last year. But and Dobbs, I think, was quarterbacking for the Cardinals in that one.
Yeah.
But I don't see them pulling off that early surprise win this year. I'm going to go with the Rams to win.
49.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think it's going to be well under that.
Okay.
Murray is a talent, but he can't see over his offensive linemen. So finding his receivers has always been a problem with him. But he better try harder with Marvin Harrison Jr. because he can get open.
Yeah. Coming to me now, the Bengals. Flat pancake start against the Chiefs. They're the world champs in Kansas City. The Chiefs are only a 6-point favorite. Boy, oh boy. They could add 10 to it. I wouldn't care. The Bengals suck. The Chiefs are the top 5 team in the NFL. This is going to be over with by halftime. Route of the week.
Is there another receiver back this week?
He might be playing. He didn't practice today, but he might be on the practice field tomorrow. And the reason they're saying that is because he had the same injury that Tyreek Hill had when he was with the Chiefs. And his recovery seems to be about the same. So they think he might be on a pitch count, but he might get on the field.
Sorry,
48 and a hook. That's the only thing I'm wondering about. Are they going to go over the total or under? I think slightly under. 38-10. This is a possible shutout game, folks. The Bengals are that bad. They suck at bad. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to put over 48 on the board. 38-10. I will take the Chiefs, and I will go under the total. Brian.
Okay, Cincinnati is notoriously slow starting. They're 1-9.
11, I think, in the first.
They're 1-9 in their last 5 years in the first 2 weeks.
I heard a 1-11 number today with them. I don't know what.
Or maybe 1-9. They're 10. Yeah, the first 2 weeks, last 5 years are 1-9. But when they play us, their coordinators kind of have us down. Every game has been within 3 points. In fact, all the games have been 3-point decided by. So neither team has been able to blow the other team out over recent times. We already talked about Hollywood Brown might be playing. I think our rookie left tackle, Kingsley Sumatai, had a really good game. He didn't get much help. They only chip blocked twice for him. And he kept Matabuki out of there and their linebackers when they blitz. He gave up 1 sack, but very few pressures. And so he did. But he's going to have a tougher challenge with Cincinnati's defensive end, Hendrickson, this week. So we'll see how that goes down. Kansas City started the season focused, on point. They really want to three-peat. And I think they win this game by 11 points. I got Kansas City covering and winning.
All right, 48.5.
T. Higgins is not playing, and Jamar Chase only got the ball about 6 times last week. I think it might go under.
All right, Keith.
I guess the number I heard, taking the last 5 years, and then last week they were probably 1-10 in their last, for the last 5 years, and in the first 2 weeks of the last 5 years, plus this last week was.
Oh yeah.
1-10 from 1-9 to 1-10
Yeah.
now, and that, yeah. So, what was it? 6 points this week?
6 points at home. That's it.
Yeah, they'll cover that. The Chiefs win and cover that.
48.5.
I think the Chiefs could put something in the high 30s on the board, mid to high 30s this week. I just don't know how many points the Bengals are going to be able to put on the board. It's just so much to give up. What was the number again? 48?
48. 48.5.
I'm going to go under slightly on that.
Yeah. Gotcha. Tim.
Wow, that was atrocious by the Bengals. I think it continues. Chris Jones, he may have a Derek Thomas-like day. Not saying 8, 4, maybe 4.5. Probably a good day for him. I think he can get through that many times. 33-9 for the Chiefs.
So you'll go under the total as well.
Tim, let's talk about that. Cincinnati's got 2 pretty good tackles, the 2 Browns, Orlando and Trent. The interior line is not as good. The thing with last week with the Chiefs, when they got a ton of pressure on Lamar Jackson, but they didn't contain him. Joe Burrow can't do what Lamar Jackson does. When they pressure Joe Burrow, they'll get to him. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Chris Jones will have a big day.
Yep.
So are you saying that Cincinnati has better Browns than Cleveland does?
And the worst part is that Orlando Sr. played for the Browns.
We go to Brian. The Steelers. Last week, I was one of the few that took them against Atlanta, and their defense showed up. They didn't score a touchdown, and I'm still hearing that the kid is still got in the hot seat. That they're not sure they're going to let this quarterback stay out there the entire game. We'll see what happens. They're 3-point favorites, though, going to Denver. Denver, a tough place to play. Over under 36.5. How about that, Brian? Who wins?
How did you say Fields played last week, Rob?
He didn't play bad.
He managed the game. He did.
He managed the game.
Yeah,
but
they didn't score. They didn't score any offensive
touchdowns though, and that's on Pittsburgh radio this week. It's been a thing, and they're pushing for Russell Wilson to play.
Yeah, but I saw somewhere Wilson was benched this week, and I don't know if it's because
he's injured.
Denver last year. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tomlinson said yesterday. They asked Tomlinson, and he said that he is not ready to play. So it'll be.
Were you listening to former WCW commentator Mark Madden?
Who, me?
Yes.
Now, I was listening to some guys on it's called Mid-City Radio or something. It's like Brew TV or whatever. I think it's on YouTube.
Okay.
And they call it the Gold and Black Show or something like that. It's like 6 of the guys, maybe a couple of – I want to say one of them actually played for the Steelers back in the day.
Gotcha.
But it's a lot of like I like a lot of beer drinking guys and stuff and just sit back and talk about it.
Right.
But they are not at all happy with the kid that came from the Bears. They're just saying that he missed too many plays. They were there at the game last week. They said it was just too many receivers that he didn't try to throw to that he could have made. They think that game, they said they left at least 18 points on the table. So if they did that, that's the thing. It's all according to what the coach thinks. I love that coach at Pittsburgh. I want to say Washington because we've been hoping, me and Keith been hoping that for a long time. Yeah, if Pittsburgh's is stupid enough to ever fire that coach, Washington, if they don't hire him, we're gonna go up there. We're gonna go get like 15 million people, and we're gonna buy Washington's football team, and we're gonna hire him.
Right.
Even if we got to kick who the hell else that is there out, we'll do that. But yeah, he's a top 5 coach in the NFL for a reason. Even with lesser talent, he coaches them to win.
Just him and John Harbaugh.
Keeps a winning record. So
Pittsburgh has stars all over their defense. I said that last week.
They do. They play on, and their offensive line is not bad either. So
it's improved a lot. T.J. Watt had his way last week. I mean, he did whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith that they got from Atlanta, he's going to be a very conservative OC. But boy, they got a field goal kicker. He had 3 field goals over 50 yards, and he had 6 total field goals. I've got Pittsburgh beating Denver by 3, which would be a push. So I'm gonna go. Nix is a rookie quarterback, and he's going to have rookie quarterback problems. I don't think he has the strongest arm either. I think their secondary will handle him.
So you got a straight up push in this game.
Well, yeah, I do, but I'm gonna take a lean toward Pittsburgh, so putting it out for Pittsburgh to cover by 1.
Okay, and 36 and a hook.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under.
Oh, okay. Keith.
Yeah, earlier I was so tempted to take Denver as an underdog here in this game, being at home, and then Pittsburgh still on the road, and Fields, I don't know if I just trying to imagine him maybe screwing this game up for him. But that's the thing about the Steelers having that defense that they have, and then Nix being a rookie, and Tomlin being a good coach. Even though I think Peyton probably is too. I think the Steelers are going to win this one and cover
3 points. Okay.
Yeah.
36 and a half, Keith.
I'm going to go over on that. I think the Steelers probably score in the 20s themselves, and Denver might find a way to score late or something.
All right. Tim.
Very astute, Keith. I mean, that's about how I sort of see it. I mean, I think they get in the end zone a couple times. Maybe Fields does a little bootleg in the goal line and scores himself once, maybe twice. I mean, God knows why not. I had it 24-13. The Steelers win, cover, and go over.
All right. I like what I'm hearing from you guys. I really, really, really I like the Steelers more than ever. And wouldn't it be some shit if they are 2-game leads on everybody else in their division after 2 weeks? They're already got a 1-game lead. Browns didn't win. Bengals didn't win. And Baltimore didn't win.
And it
So
almost
right
feels
now,
like they already got a 2-game lead on
the thing is, I'm not sure they're not the best team in this division, even with either quarterback. This defense is for real. They're a top 3 defense. T.J. Watt, he doesn't miss a beat, man. I don't know what's up with this guy. I'm with Keith said something going to go mid-20s. Yeah, they will. I think the Broncos, though, are going to show up this week and score some points. I really think they're going to put a scare into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh covers, and they win 26-20. Though I think it's a closer game than a lot of people think. and we'll go over that total.
But that's a good stadium this time of year, especially for kickers. So I mean, they get that extra distance with the thin
Yep.
air up there. I mean,
It's not too hot. Everybody can get up there and just play the game, and it's wonderful. Yep. We're going to Keith now. Keith's going to tell us
just out
about
of curiosity, who was the player that the Steelers had back in the day that couldn't play when they went up there because of some kind of health condition he had or something?
Was it Benny Cunningham?
I don't remember. There was a guy though that the Steelers had.
Benny Cunningham had was that called stuff when?
This was like 10 years ago or so.
Oh, okay. Back in the day, though, Benny Cunningham, man, he had trouble because with that shit in the summer, in the spring, yellow stuff comes off.
You mean the guy who's on ESPN?
Pollen.
Who was that?
Who's the one? Not okay. Cornerback. That's on ESPN.
It was a guy on defense, I think. Maybe.
Oh, you talking about who?
Defensive player.
Yeah, he played for Washington for a little short time.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ryan Clark.
Yeah, Ryan Clark.
I think that was it. Yeah.
He couldn't go up there and play, huh?
Because he has sickle cell anemia.
That was it.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
He has a sickle cell trait, which made it too dangerous to play at high altitudes.
I got you.
Okay.
Benny Cunningham, I think he was a guy back in the day, though. It was like in the 70s and stuff. And they had him go like 4 or 5 different cities in an airplane in a day. And the last city he was leaving from was Denver. And this was like May. They got in the air and they had to have an emergency landing because he couldn't catch his breath going back to LA. They had to land in either Salt Lake or either in Vegas one, heading back toward LA. And they thought he was going to die. I mean, he just absolutely could not stand that stuff. It just the high altitudes or whatever it was, and then that stuff in his throat and nostrils and all that, it just about killed him, and he just could not deal with it. But I think during football season, he was okay with it. He had to stay away from it in the spring. He couldn't he done a lot of indoor training, where some of the guys did outdoor training and stuff. But I think it was Benny Cunningham who I heard did that. Keith, the Bears, tell us why they're going to march their asses down into Houston. Houston's a 6.5-point favorite. Keith don't care. He's going to take the Bears. 45.5-point favorite. I mean, 45.5 points.
Oh, gosh. If I'm getting that many points.
45.5 points. That is 45 and a hook is the over-under. Texans are a 6.5-point favorite in this game at home. Go for it, Keith.
All right. I'm trusting the Bears that I saw in the second half against the Titans is a little bit more reflective of who they really are. They are who we thought they were, type of thing. The Titans were able to run the ball in the first half against them fairly well. They managed some drives fairly well. And you know, they had a lead of something like 17-0 in that game. And the Bears offense didn't really do much at all to bring them back in that game. It was more the Bears defense, their special teams, and mistakes that the Titans made in the second half, especially the one that Brian has already mentioned a couple times with that terrible decision by Levis. This Texans team, I don't think is going to be as forgiving on the lack of offense that the Bears had in the first half. I think the Bears offense will get better as the season goes on. I just don't see it being quite yet. I think the Texans are a little too much for them. Having said that, the Bears defense might be good enough to keep it close. I think the Bears will get a little bit more production. I kind of expect the Titans to win by 5 or 6.
Texans.
5 or 6 points this week. So I'm going to take the Bears with the points. Texans to win the game.
45 hook. 45
under.
Yeah. I got you. Tim,
Oh, yeah, the Bears are who we thought they were, and then they let them off the hook. If it wasn't for their defense and special teams, they wouldn't have scored.
Well, and Swift had some good plays early in that game when they were feeding him the ball running. But it seemed like they kind of got away from that.
Fine, they get a touchdown or two, but I think the Houston offense will be too much, especially at home. Houston wins it 28-17, so the hook will fail you if you take the over.
So you're going on.
Okay.
Yep.
You went with 45 points.
45 points.
I'm going with 44 points.
Whatever we did not need
Oh,
How
you
about
got three
How about
hooks.
this? A
You got
little
three
bit of
hooks.
you, a little bit of you. I'm going to get a little bit of you and a little bit of you. Texans win, don't cover. 24-20. So I'm going to take the under just like both of you guys did. Texans going to win this ball game. The Bears showed me enough. The Bears showed me enough they can run the football efficiently. I think they can run on this team. And I don't think the Texans are going to be able to run on this team a lot. Man, I tell you what, the Bears' run defense is damn good. It depends on if Stroud starts slinging the ball 30, 40, 50 yards down the field, and they open receivers. If they do, this could be a track meet. I don't think it happens, though. I don't think the Bears are going to allow that. I think they can get to him. I think they're going to keep it close. Texans win a late touchdown, late field goal, something like that. It helps them out. 24-20, under the total. I'll take the Bears with the points. Brian.
Matt Eberflus is a defensive coach, and from midseason last year, he really fixed their defense that was reeling after they got rid of Roquan Smith, and Smith went to Baltimore. Defense for Chicago is definitely for real. I agree with you. I think it'll be hard to run against Chicago. Joe Mixon's a really good back, so that'll be interesting to watch. Houston's got two number one receivers, though, with Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs for Chicago cover. I've got Houston winning the game by 6. So I got Houston winning the game by 9. So I think they'll cover and win. And I think it will go. What's the total again?
45.5.
45. I think it'll go under.
All right. We'll go to Tim. Final game of the week before we have our we call it picks?
The survivor picks.
Survivor picks.
Survivor picks. Yep. These three still are in it. Nobody else is. Tim, the Falcons traveling to Philly. Philly remember now, Philly played Friday. Now they're going to get themselves 10 days off, and then they're going to play at home. 6.5 point favorites, 47 and a hook. Tim, who you like?
Yeah, well, because it was on the bird, I didn't get to watch the game on Friday last week. Yeah, man, only getting 10 points on the Steelers. I mean, and was it? I think Kyle Pitts had the other touchdown for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Did you see how many yards offensively that the Falcons got in 4 quarters?
no,
Not even 200, I think.
yeah, it's
But it's a different bird there. It's a different. No pun intended. But the Steelers defense is not the Eagles defense. Yeah,
no, and which means that they could put up a little bit more. But I still think that that Philly's a touchdown better than 7 points better than the Falcons.
47.5.
Like 28-20.
So you'll go over the total. All right.
Will.
Wow. 28-20. No, you did not. 8-point game. I got a 10-point game here. 29-19. That might be a score economy. I don't know. 29-19. You can check and see. Falcons, man, they were at home, and they could not do nothing against a top 3 or 4 defense. Now they're going to, I think, the toughest place to play in the league. I'm including Kansas City. I'm including Seattle. You just do not want to go to play in Philadelphia. This is the first time a quarterback has ever come back from an Achilles to play in the next year's opening game of a season. It's never happened before. I'm pessimistic about this deal. I don't know if he's going to make too many more games. I like a kid too. I like a guy, but it sucks to see him wearing a number 18, especially if you don't like Manning. That's for damn sure.
Right.
You know,
Do you think that Ulster Penix might start before long?
it could be, but yeah, just watching that number 18 of Atlanta go out there, I'm just like, no.
By the way, 29-19 has happened 5 times in NFL history.
Mm.
Well,
Last was actually Washington against Tampa in 2021.
Mhm.
29-19, Eagles cover, and we'll just go slightly. It's slightly over. It's a half point over.
That's one of those 10-point spreads. Somebody might go for a 2-point conversion to get the 10th point or something.
Yeah, but the 47.5, I think they go over the total. I
Forget
think
what
the teams will score. Brian.
Atlanta, it was another one of those disappointing teams that just was not ready to start the season. It looked like they'd get something going and then there would be like an illegal formation or illegal motion. They just killed themselves with mistakes. Philadelphia's got too much talent for Atlanta. Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift. Philly is loaded. And I think they're a little tougher up front too. So I got Philadelphia winning by 9 points. So Philadelphia winning and covering.
47.5.
47.5, I think it'll go over.
What
All right.
Swift was that you mentioned, Brian?
Pardon?
DeAndre.
You're drawing to Swift. Oh, no, Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley.
Swift is with the Bears now.
Yeah, Swift was Bears, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barkley is he's rolled up and ready to have a big year.
Last pick of the week, Keith.
I like the Eagles in this game. Yeah, I coming into the season with that, coming off that Achilles, I was worried about Cousins from the very beginning, and that's why I liked the Penix draft pick. Yeah, that might be something that the quarterback kind of held him back last year. Might again this year. I think the Eagles just, with Hurts back there, and they have Barkley, dress their secondary in the draft with a couple corners. They're at home, loud fans that really support their team and get passionate about the game. Eagles win this. They'll cover.
47.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with. I'm going to go under just because I'm not going to predict a score, but that seems a little high.
All right. We go into Survivor Picks. Survivor Picks last week, 2 of us missed them. 3 of them. Definitely not me. I picked Cincinnati to win, even though I was the only one to go on the island and say New England was going to actually cover in that game. New England just absolutely dominated the Bengals. Mike, he liked the Titans. And yeah,
It was looking good at halftime.
and they did. They looked real good at halftime. And the Bears ended up making them look bad. Buffalo, another team that was not looking the greatest against the Cardinals. They ended up doing what they had to do for Keith and for Brian. And the Saints, we knew we was going with the Panthers there. That was one that was probably not, Tim took his Saints at the right time. So if whoever playing the Panthers might be always the good pick. I don't know.
Yeah, Tim knew he had survived by about the midpoint of the second quarter, probably.
They can also, don't forget now, these guys can also pick the same teams, but you can't take the same team twice.
And that's the same team we picked.
We'll go to Brian first. Brian, no Buffalo. Other than that, you're good to go. Who you like?
I like the Chargers.
All right.
Yeah.
Who are they playing, by the way?
One more. Are the Chargers happening to play the Panthers? Yes, they
Yes.
are. So
Yeah, I'm right with you, Brian. I'm going with the Chargers too because I don't know how many more times I'm going to be picking them. They're going to be, with their division games and stuff this year, they're going to have a lot of tough opponents when you're playing the Panthers. Might as well take them now.
And they only play the Chargers one time.
Tim, all three of you.
No. I'm not. If that way, if in case something horrifically bad happens, then I know I can still be there. So I will go with second pick. Jeez. I kind of flip up. All right, Brian, I'll go with your team over the Bengals.
Kansas
You're going to
City.
take your Chiefs early, huh?
Yep, take the Chiefs early.
Well, he's thinking you guys may screw up this week.
Yeah, right.
They probably won't.
It might be over.
Hey, last year the Chargers were very inconsistent, so that's a possibility. But I think Harbaugh will steady the ship. I think it'll get them more
Can you
consistent.
imagine if a Panther slip up on a banana peel, win the game, and Tim, all he has to do is hopefully Kansas City wins. He's got it won in 2 weeks now. Wouldn't that be something? Then after that, folks, we'll go back to locks. Okay, we'll go back to locks.
Herbert gets sacked and injured in the first play of the game,
And in fact, we'll still do our locks this week. Okay? Didn't we do locks last week too? I think we did.
I believe we
locks
did.
with points
We
or
did.
without.
We did.
We
I think
did
locks.
our locks. We did.
We do locks.
Brian- Brian had the Texans. They did the job. Mike had the Bills. They did their job. Tim took the Cowboys.
Oh,
Lock
yeah.
Tim. Keith took the Niners. They did their job. Rob took Iowa, and they didn't do too good. So I lost out on that one. So since I lost out last week, I'll get to pick first. So you can't take the same team. So what am I? I'm not excuse me, in my language. I'm sorry. I'm not an idiot. I'm taking the Chargers, so you guys can't take a lock. Are you kidding me?
And if you're watching this later, beep right there.
Beat. But other than that, you're okay. No
Lock.
problem there. Let me spin this. It's going to go to Tim. Tim will get to go next. You cannot take the Chargers.
I am actually going to go the college route.
Okay.
I will take Missouri.
And give up the 17.
Absolutely.
All righty. So Tim does that. And we'll go to Brian next.
Let's see.
Kansas City's there for you.
They've all been 3-point games every time they play.
Okay.
But let's see. I'm gonna go with. I like Houston over Chicago.
All right. Yeah, Houston over Chicago. That is Brian.
Oh wait, I can't take Houston. I took them last week.
Oh yeah. It locks
You
locks
can
lock.
take
Locks
that.
fine.
You just can't
I
take
agree.
lock. Same as
Yeah,
somebody
lock.
else.
You can take anything you want to. Yeah,
Okay, Houston.
you can do that survivor pick. You just can't do that. So, Keith.
Okay. Do I go with it? Okay, Chiefs are there. I'll go with that then.
You go take the Chiefs?
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I like them better than 6 points too. I really do. I think the Bengals are. I think the Bengals are in the shambles now. I don't look back at what they did 2, 3, 4 years ago. That's a different team than this team now. It really, really, really are bad. Right now, if you want to, let's go to Power 3. Brian, your 3 best teams in the NFL right now in no particular order.
I got Kansas City on top.
Okay, and your other 2 teams that you like best.
I still got Baltimore too. They're
Okay.
physical, and they just have a little trouble with us, but everybody else they've rolled.
Okay.
My 3 team would be San Francisco.
Okay. Keith. No particular order. Does not
Particular
matter.
order.
Just-
Yeah, Chiefs are one of them. I guess by default, almost the 49ers. And now this is like right now, as we
just
speak.
right, just right now.
Yeah.
We'll take it week to week. Yeah.
Okay. The third one is kind of a tough one. I guess Detroit. I mean, it's not like I feel super secure with that, but I'll go with Detroit.
I got you. Tim.
I will take my 3. Like I said, I'm being in particular order: Chiefs, the Cowboys, and the 49ers.
Ah, wow. That's a team that I was really, really thinking about too. No doubt. 49ers, Chiefs. I like both of them. I think I all like them. You can like Baltimore. You can like Detroit. You can like Dallas. I'm not giving up on Miami though. I'm gonna take Miami right now. I still think Miami is a team that's really, really destined to be really, really good. And I'll take it that we laugh about it, we can be stupid about it all we want to. If that team from Pittsburgh comes out and goes 2 or 3-0, to me, I understand they got the headless quarterback. Nobody knows who the hell they're going to be, and it may not be there.
I just don't know with Miami, like if they get in a game where they have to use brute force and power and strength of defense, and especially maybe in not real good weather conditions where their speed is neutralized a little bit.
That could be Thursday night. There's a chance. There's 50% chance of rain Thursday night. I just think they're going to stretch it.
I'm not sure how that team is going to look in those games.
Yeah, that's my same concern, Keith, with both Dallas and Miami. Until I see them beat a physical team like a San Francisco or Kansas City, it's hard for me to get on board.
Yeah, and with the Packers, with their injury problems now, that's got to be scary. I don't know. The Rams, I think they're going to be a better team, but do I think right now I still think they got some stuff to prove. The Texans, nobody took them, and that's another tough team.
Yeah,
they're a team that if they keep playing like they did at the end of last year, nobody's going to want to play them by the time week 10's around. And then nobody took it.
In the back of my mind, I kind of look at the Texans as a team that's one of the good teams in the league. Just not going to have quite the consistencies some of these other teams are going to have it looking sharp week in and week out.
I went from the Eagles to Miami on this one. I still think the Eagles are a really, really elite team too. I still think they are. I think they're going to win 11, 12 games. I don't think they have any problems getting to the playoffs.
The coach has got to stay under control there.
But if they're able to keep running the football like they did last week, they're going to be in fine shape. I mean, throwing the ball is nice, but boy, oh boy, if they get 218 yards rushing,
okay,
that's something to do. So
the one caveat I've got with Baltimore, who I picked, Lamar Jackson can't run the ball 16 times a week.
No.
He will not make it through the season. And actually, Kansas City beat him up so much that he got permission to not go to the first day's practice this week. And I think he's thinking about asking off the first day of practice each week in hopes to try to make it through the season.
Yeah.
And right now, which coach's chair is the hottest?
Let's see, the hottest seat in the NFL right now. Let's see. Let me think for just a second. Got to be the Giants.
Dable.
I was thinking possibly Saleh.
Yeah. Giants.
I just don't know if him and Rodgers are going to be able. I mean,
both of them.
Like a success can kind of. I mean, that Rodgers doesn't deal with that very well.
So both New York teams could be in really, really bad
Yeah.
places. The Bengals, how long has their coach been? Is this his third year?
No, I think it's his fifth year.
He was in the Super Bowl, whatever that was.
Mac is a good coach, and Lou Anarumo is a good DC. He's always ready to play our offense.
If they lose 10 games, would they fire him?
Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not.
I don't think so. I think he's still has some grace.
All right. I'm just stating if they go 7-10, would they fire their coach? I think they could. I don't know. And then
Cleveland. How secure is he, Tim?
And Dallas coach.
Cleveland's GM should be on the hot seat. Whoever made that decision to sign
For Watson.
Yeah, Andrew.
He has hamstrung that organization for years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas's coach, I think he's always on the hot seat, and then this year more than ever. Why wouldn't you be? Because
think about it. Somebody was saying if they cut Deshaun Watson with all that salary, they may not even be able to field a team. That's how bad it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
great. It's crazy stuff.
Have they had any success at the quarterback position since Bernie Kosar?
Well, Vinny Testaverde did lead them to. Well, the thing is, though, is Vinny and Baker Mayfield have led them to a playoff win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only success.
But they've never had a guy that could started 2 or 3 years in a row that seemed like he was somebody they wanted.
Nope.
Yeah.
I fell in love again with the Chiefs when we hired Marty Schottenheimer from Cleveland.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah, he was great for us for 10 years.
Yeah. And then he came to Washington and laid an egg there.
Yeah,
he died of dementia, and I think his mind was kind of in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
The Chargers, he'd guide them to double-digit wins every year, and then they'd get that first playoff game, and they'd be his conservative style. It seemed like would catch up to him.
Just don't ever bring up the name Marlon McCree in San Diego.
Who's that?
Interception when they were up by 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Oh,
and in the AFC Championship game. And then they blew the game.
Yeah. Folks,
was it Nate Keating? I think missed an easy field goal in a game too.
We love bringing football to you every week and our football picks, but don't forget about 9/11. I never did turn the TV on this morning, but I know every year 9/11 as something it comes around, and it will come around again next year. Won't it be? Let's see. Next year, will it be 24 years, 25 years, 24 years next
24
year?
years next year.
Yeah.
It's 23 years right now, and that's just something we don't ever want to forget that day. And but I do want to thank everybody that watches us over the week. We get that 40 to 60 to 100 folks watch us, and whoever you are, leave a comment down below. Tell us who you think is going to be closer to getting things right, whether it's Brian, whether it's Keith, whether it's Tim, whether it's Rob. Yeah. All right. Okay, guys. You all have a great
Rob, our thoughts are still with you and your family right now because
thanks very much.
Your weekend, you're with your
service for my dad yesterday.
Yeah.
We waited a few days more than we really wanted to, and but the gun salute, Mom got the flag. It all went well, and
like Brian was saying, that might stick with you for a while because I know even now, and I still have my dad, and he's 81, and even the thoughts of him not being here someday, that's hard for me to deal with. I mean, I start thinking of, I have especially certain songs and stuff from like the 70s and that where it's like it kicks back memories of riding in the truck with him, and he could go into the hardware store or something and getting lumber and nails and stuff, and taking me to get a haircut and all those kinds of things. I mean, those things come back, and it's just.
I think that's why over the last, I guess it's been 10 days now since my dad passed.
And I mean that affects me now to think about.
That when my mom says, well, do you mind if I come down and eat with you guys? Do you mind if I come knock on your door and ask for some help or something? I push it. I push it a lot because, like you say, we don't know how long they're here for, folks. So, yeah, everybody out there, if you've got your mom and dad, appreciate them because you don't know how long they're going to be here on this earth. I was just kind of lucky with my situation that we kind of knew with the decrease with my dad's health that we knew we were going to lose him. We just knew it was a matter of time. And I did everything. Darlene did everything. My mom did everything we possibly could to make it worthwhile for him just to want to be on this earth.
And I have dreams now with my mom and him like all the time. I mean, it's just
yeah.
a regular thing.
So now when mom calls and it's like, okay, do you mind if I come eat with you? No, hell no. Quarter mile down the road. Come on, pull in down here. The door's open for you. So, I love my mom to death, but probably am kind of holding on to things and being like, yeah, you know what? I appreciate her. So, do appreciate your parents, folks. God bless each and every one of you. Thanks to everybody that sent well wishes to me and my family. We appreciate it. We will be back here next Wednesday. Let's hope my man Mike's here. Let's hope my man Harrison. And whoever wants to be here with us, all you got to do is say it, and we can put you out there with us. Have a great week ahead, and we'll see who did well this week. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks for being here for almost 2 hours with us. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.